So today we've got the Defender tier list for you. We're just going to go top down, starting with Sentry. I think Sentry is pretty bad. Most people run Sentry, so you can bring like barbed wire in a deployable shield or a nitro in a deployable shield, but Clash can do that now with her rework, so I don't think Sentry really has a place. Can he bring cool utility? Yeah, but beyond that, he's not very good in my opinion. Capcan, I think, is still pretty good. I wouldn't say he's like meta, but he's good at stopping people who are rushing that aren't looking through doors, which is pretty nice. Doesn't bring a nitro cell anymore, but an all-around great defender for ranks. Tachanka, I think, is like situational if you know what you're doing. There's like some lineups where it's kind of cool, I guess. But Tachanka's like on like the basement of bank, and that's pretty much it. There's like other niche cases, like maybe killing a Maverick on a wall. That's pretty much it. Next up, let's go over Jaeger. Jaeger, I think, is probably... Now that Clash is going to be sort of meta and you can catch Capitals with ADSs, I would say he's like a good A tier, at minimum B tier. Low key, I feel like it's situational because you don't always need a Jaeger. He's not always as good as he used to be. Like you used to always need a Jaeger every round, but now that's not really the case. Same thing with Wamai. I think they're both kind of like situational operators. Bandit, I also think that any wall denial operator is like situational. So we'll do Bandit, Cade, and then obviously Tubarao, right? Sometimes a Cade's better than Bandit, so Bandit isn't the best in that situation, but sometimes a Bandit is better than a Cade. Sometimes a Tub is better than a Bandit, right? So they're all pretty situational in my opinion. Alka is ass. Alka is a D1 Glazer. High YouTube. Yeah, the switch up is fucking crazy. Glaz is S. Yeah, I'm glad you're not making the tier list, bro. What are you talking about? All right, Doc, for ranked, solid A tier. I want to say Rook low-key is good too. He's had the highest win rate for any defender for the past 2 years. You can even look at the designer notes they just released. He has the highest win rate still. So like pretty good operator. Can't lie. Is he like meta defining, super OP broken? No, but he's just a pretty good defender. Next up, we have Pulse. I think Pulse is... I don't even know that, like, Pulse is situational. You can just bring Solus, right? I'll put him in situational. He is pretty good on, like, Consulate and stuff like that. Castle situational. He's really, 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 really good, but only on certain bomb sites. I think Smoke, easy A tier. Very good defender to get into, especially against, like, shields and stuff like that. Mute. I think Mute is also A tier. You could argue S tier, honestly, because of just how much he counters. But I'm saving S tier for people who are, like, broken and, like, need a nerf and are, like, crazy, crazy meta. I don't think Mute's like that. I think he's a perfectly balanced operator and a very strong one at that. Next up is Frost. B tier. You got an ACOG, shotgun, shield, an okay ability. Solid B tier, nothing more I can really say. Valk, you could argue S tier. I want to say A tier because good players just bring IQ. Next up is Cav. I honestly want to say Cav's not that terrible for ranked, but her ability is like pretty bad. I think the only thing that's good about her is her interrogations, and that's pretty much it. But like, she's not even that terrible. If Deimos is like banned, I think she's really, really good. If Deimos is banned, she's amazing. If Dokubi's banned, she's amazing. But like, if Deimos and Dokubi both aren't banned together, she's like pretty terrible. You're just gonna get realm cleared. So I think she's F tier, in my opinion. I think she's F tier. Unless you're in low elo. If you're in low elo, she's S tier. One of the best defenders in the game. Next up is Echo. I think Echo is probably like a good B tier pick. You can use him to counter shields, counter plants. You have an ACOG, you have a deployable shield. Not terrible. Same kind of category as Frost, in my opinion. Mira is situational. There's some bomb sites where Mira, like, sucks, and you can get countered so easily, but there's some bomb sites where she's really good. Like, Basement Bank, for example. Great Mira bomb site. Top Floor Cafe. Great Mira bomb site. But, like, Villa... Statue, people love to play Mira, but you can just buck below, right? Or you can just go Ash on Study Bell, so she kind of sucks on some bomb sites. Legion, always great. I think probably really, really good. Like, probably a meta defender right now, honestly. You counter shields, a lot of information, T5 SMG, site setup, meta defender for sure. For sure, in my opinion. Ella just got nerfed, but not even noticeably, so she still kind of does the same exact thing. I'll put her in B tier. You can counter shields, good guns, deployable shield, pretty nice. Alibi S tier. Echo is S. Yeah, get this guy out of my fucking Twitch stream, bro. Get him out. Get him out. Get him out. Vigil, I think you can make an argument for S. Boss G did get nerfed, though, so, like, not really. So I'll put him in A. I think he's a good A tier pick, in my opinion. Let's see. Alibi, yeah, C tier. Alibi is, like, pretty bad. There's nothing you really get out of Alibi compared to any other defender you could play. Maestro, B tier. He's okay. I like 3 cameras. I like impact grenades. I like the LMG. I like Bailiff. But not anything crazy like Smoke, Mute, Valk, or Capcan, right? I'm going to put these two down in B, I think. I'm going to put Doc and Rook down in B. They're not as impactful as these operators. Like, yeah, they have high win rates and they have good guns. I feel like I'd be lying to myself if I said that Doc and Rook were as good as Capcan, Mute, and Smoke. I feel like that's dumb. That's a bad take. Let's go over Clash last, actually. Let's go over Clash last. I want to save the best for last because I have a crazy take on Clash. Next up, let's go over Mozzie. Mozzie's a solid defender. I think they need to take away his impact grenades and give him a super shorty so that he can have rotations for the roam and a nitro at the same time. Then he'll be good. Right now, he can't rotate on the roam because no one's running his impact grenades because nitro cell is always going to be better. So he's a little bit unfun to play, I think. Warden, I think probably A tier. Like, you could put him in situational because it's like, well, they're not always going to have flashes, but Warden you play so that they don't bring a Ying or so that they don't bring smokes, right? You kind of do it like preemptively. I also think having a shield with a shotgun and an SMG-12 and a nitro shell if you don't want a nitro cell if you don't want to run a shield is awesome. So Warden's definitely an A tier pick for me. Goyo, A tier. You could argue even S. I'm going to argue S. I think Goyo's an S tier pick. I think if they nerfed Goyo to where his fire lasted 15 seconds instead of 20, I'd be happy. I think he's really, really strong right now. Impact grenades, Vector, 120 seconds of denial for fucking, or not 120 seconds, 80 seconds of denial for anything. And it does damage. Just crazy, crazy defender in my opinion. There's a reason he's the second most picked console defender. He's crazy. He's crazy. I love Goyo. Next up, who's next? Oryx, I don't really like. You could argue situational for shields, and that's pretty much, I think, the highest you could argue him for. Malusi, very, very good defender. I think I'll put her in S, honestly. You can have information, bulletproof information, impact grenades for shields, super shorted for sight setup. Nah, I'll put her in A. I don't think she's S. I think she's A though. She's solid A. Solid A. I think like top of, if there was a tier in between S and A, that's where I'd put her. She's really, really good. My poor alibi. Yeah, she's terrible, dude. She's terrible. A Rooney. I think a Rooney. Rooney's difficult, bro. Because, like, any good player sees an Rooney and just brings Brava or brings flash grenades and she's cooked. I'll put her in B. I think she's a good defender. Do I think she's, like, as great as these guys up here? Nah. But she's still pretty good. Let's see who's next. Thunderbird. Thunderbird just got a buff. So Thunderbirds do not heal attackers anymore unless, of course, hacked by Brava. Which makes her not F tier. I want to say C tier now. I mean, she's got a good gun. She's got a good loadout. She heals pretty well. I think a good C tier. I think the unfortunate truth is that because Doc heals to full, you can heal from range, which means you can roam or your teammates can roam and they don't have to like go to the station. And I think the fact that you have an ACOG and an MP5 just makes Doc better compared to Thunderbird. Next up, we have Thorn. I think Thorn is C tier, not very good. They need to increase the activation time of her trap for her to be useful at all, in my opinion. Azami, easy S tier. Probably the second best defender in the game. I will go over who the first best is later in the video. Chat, y'all know. Y'all have been watching me play her all day. Anyways. Next up, we have Solus, C tier. I think she's a little weak. You can maybe argue B. Nah, I think C. She's pretty weak in my opinion after the nerfs. They need to give her her range and her impacts back, and I think she'll be balanced. Fenrir probably could go S, I think. If you're a good Fenrir player, he's S, but like the average Fenrir player makes Fenrir like a B tier operator. But I think I'll put him S. Next up, who do we have next? Scopos, I think it's either in between B tier or situational. I like Scopos, but like there are some maps where she kind of sucks. I'll put her as situational. She's really good on big maps where you can go for big flanks, but like small maps like Border, she sucks. All right, now finally, we have the long-awaited last defender on this list, the new reworked Clash. What do I think of the reworked Clash? I think after me playing her in the test server for a while, and after me seeing her abilities going against Clash, I think the average player would make Clash situational, right? The average player would make her situational because honestly, she's not going to play too different compared to how Clash played before the rework. However, I think once Pro League gets their hands on her and once really, really good Clash players start to emerge, I think she's going to be the best defender in the game. Hands down. I've played her for like, what chat, like 2 hours? Does 2 hours sound right? I've played her for like 2 hours and already I'm dominating every lobby I'm in. It's insane. I think most people don't know how to counter her, which may be why I'm finding a lot of success with her. But the ability to swing off of your shield while it's shocking people is crazy. You can sprint with your shield in front of your face as Clash while it's shocking people. You can run out of a barricade without prepping it because you can break barricades, so you can do runouts with Clash with your shield. and you can not only deploy your shield, even after you're dead and you have the shock mode on her shield, she still shocks with her shield when you're dead, which means you can like put your shield in an area where you know they're gonna have to push, like Rafters of Clubhouse, or Blue Hall on the basement of Chalet, or CC and Bank, and you can die, and she can still hold an area and have a teammate play off of her shield. It's crazy. I think she's the most broken defender they've released since Azami, in my opinion. Maybe my enemies have been a bit bad, but from what I can gather, I think she's probably the best defender in the game right now. Let me know what you think of the new Clash, though. Follow the Twitch if you want to see this live, and check out this next video.